Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. Today we are going to be talking about my fall non-negotiables. These are things that I do every single fall, and they're non-negotiables. I will not go a single fall without doing them. Some of them are new, some of them I've been doing for years, and I thought that I would share them with you guys because I feel like they're great habits to do, things to check off your list. Some of them are fun, some of them are more like serious and goal setting type situations. So I definitely feel like all of them should be added to your list. And maybe you won't enjoy every single one, maybe you don't want to add every single one, but hopefully this gives you some ideas to start your own list for your fall non-negotiables. Before we jump in, don't forget to follow on whatever platform you are currently listening or watching on. Don't forget to like, leave a rating and a review, leave a comment, all those things. It takes about 0.2 seconds and really helps out my podcast. We are currently working on getting 1K on YouTube, so if you are a part of the group of gals who are really wanting to be here from the beginning and help us get off the ground, then comment hashtag gal with goals, so GAL with goals, down below, and I'll know that you are one of the real ones. And I'll definitely try and respond to every single person who does so, or just comments in general. So yeah, that is pretty much it. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the episode. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Okay, so the very first thing that I do when I feel a little bit of crisp air come my way, or I see a leaf fall, is I immediately start cleaning. So I know that the old saying is spring cleaning, but I feel like fall cleaning is just as important, especially in this era of consumerism where everyone seems to have way more stuff than we used to. It's really, really important that you are cleaning more than just once a year, obviously, duh. But I feel like fall is a great time to do it because me personally, I have a lot of fall decor that I like to bring out, and the thought of bringing out decor when it is just like your house is messy and like not clean, I can't do it. Also, you're gonna be putting up Christmas decor after fall decor, so you wanna make sure that your house is great and ready to go. So I like to do a big clean out. I clean out everything I no longer want, do a yard sale. I go ahead and get everything clean. Like I do all the big cleaning things that you don't do every single time you clean, like the big guys. So fall cleaning and getting your house spotless before you go into all of the events towards the end of the year, and you're going to be a lot busier, is really important, especially for the decor aspect, the busyness aspect, the coziness aspect, because you're about to be in your house more in the winter. Just making sure to get it ready for that is super important. So getting a clean slate and getting fall cleaning done is a non-negotiable for me, and possibly the most important one. Second is plan for the rest of the year. Like I said, the rest of the year is going to be busy, so you kind of want it to be as easy as possible. At least that's what I think. I kind of don't want to like plan things last minute. I mean, I will, like small fun things, but the big things I kind of want to get out of the way. So goals for the rest of the year, whatever my goals are that I want to finish strong on for the end of 2024, I'm going to write those down and kind of actualize them and create an action plan. Trips, whether I'm going somewhere this month and going somewhere for Christmas, whatever it may be, get all those trips kind of sorted out. And I know that usually you're not the only one involved. Like there's family to talk to, there's, you know, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, people to talk to get these things to happen, but kind of just do my part and get as much as I can done, because I can't control everything, but I can control what I can control. Costumes. I put this for like Halloween specifically. As soon as I feel a little bit of a nip in the air, I'm trying to figure out my Halloween costume. I usually home make it, or I have like some element that's DIY, so I like to make sure that I'm doing it sooner rather than later, and it just gets you excited, it gets you in the spooky mood, it gets you ready to go. Holidays like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, all of the holidays, a lot of my family members have birthdays around this time of year. Just making sure all of that has kind of an outline. Like I said, you're not the only one involved. So obviously, like if you have like, you're in a relationship, for example, like I'm dating Josh, we both have families. Both of our families have Christmas and Thanksgiving. So like there are certain things we're not going to be able to plan this far in advance. But kind of having a rough outline or knowing what we want to do so that when people come up to us and say, what are you planning on doing? We kind of have our own plan ready and then we can build around that is something that I like to go ahead and do. And another thing that I plan, I'm sure I plan more, but these are just the things off the top of my head, is my budget for the rest of the year. What is the budget looking like? I like to start getting Christmas presents now. How can I do that? How much money do I have to do that? What does everyone want? I know like Josh and I both, I mean, I feel like as an adult in general, you tend to want bigger ticket items that cost more money. So putting money aside for that, knowing where you stand is really important, and just kind of having an idea of what your budget is looking like as you go through all of these events and holidays. Next, it's important to get back on track and establish your routine for the rest of the year. You're going to be busy starting like Halloween for me is when things really ramp up, and then you've got, you know, Thanksgiving and then Christmas and then New Year's. So it's important that I establish a routine by like the end of September, and I know this is hitting you, this is posting the end of September, but you still have all of October to establish your routine. It takes 21 days to make a habit, and this is your diet, this is your gym routine, this is your work routine, your hustle routine. All of the things that you maybe aren't thinking about during the season but are really important, establish those routines now, get back on track, and make sure that you are ready to go so that when you have holidays and things like that, you aren't trying to stay in a routine that you haven't established and you're just like having to stay on course, because it's a lot easier to do that than trying to establish new routines when you're also trying to balance all of the fun things. Romanticize the mundane. This is specifically a fall thing. I try to romanticize year round, but I feel like it's easiest to romanticize in the fall with all the leaves and all the coziness. Like even just running to Starbucks or a coffee shop and like getting a coffee, just driving in the rain and seeing the leaves fall. Yesterday, I went to go mail a package for my small business, a little shameless plug-in. I have a small business. You can check it out on Instagram. It's casper.collective, LOL. Yeah, I'm not super active on there, but I do have some items on there if you want to check it out. But anyway, I was mailing a package for my small business yesterday, and it was downpouring. We had a little bit of a Hurricane Helene come through, so we are good. A lot of fallen trees, a lot of wind, but we are good. I want to add a little side note, thoughts and prayers for those of you who actually went through the brunt of it, like North Carolina and Florida. I have been keeping you in my thoughts, sending all the vibes, and doing what I can. But yeah, a little side note, if you were not impacted by Hurricane Helene, I definitely recommend looking it up and doing what you can, because people lost their entire lives and it's really, really sad. But we didn't get it too terribly. We just had a little bit. So we got it really bad Friday, and then Saturday morning, I got a little off track. I was going to mail this package since I couldn't do it in the storm. So I was trying to get to the post office before noon, and I was rushed. I ended up going to like 3 different post offices because they closed before they said they did, or like Google took me to the wrong place. So yeah, it was a little bit stressful, but I was really romanticizing it. You know, it was rainy, the leaves were falling, I was taking back roads, and I was like having a good time. Like I was just listening to music and taking it all in and being present and being like, wow, I'm so grateful for this, especially considering the people who have lost their lives. Like the worst I get is like a rainstorm. Like look at how beautiful fall is, and I'm just like being so grateful and romanticizing it. And I feel like it's really important to do that, and it's really easy to do that in the fall because it's just such a vibe. Like fall is by far my favorite season, so I am so in love with it, and it's really easy to romanticize it. Carve pumpkins. This is like the one thing I do every single year. Whether I paint or carve, I do one of the two, and it's like a non-negotiable for me to have like a night where we just paint or carve, and do that with pumpkins. That's more of a fun one, but it is a non-negotiable for me. Try new coffee shops. We have a lot of small coffee shops here, like a lot, where it's like, you know, small business, one coffee shop, and there's nothing like it in the world. And I really, really love that about Lexington. It's one of the reasons why I enjoy living here, genuinely. But I've noticed that my favorite drinks that coffee shops do, like their special seasonal drinks, are the fall and Christmas time. So I will try a new coffee shop, because there's always one like that I haven't heard of or that pops up or something around the fall time, because they have such fun fall drinks. Like I love a good like white chocolate mocha with a little bit of pumpkin, or like a caramel brulee. Like, I love those types of coffee, and I know they're not the greatest for you, but they help my heart. They make my heart happy. So I wow, great. Okay. I go to one new coffee shop a season in like the fall time, or at least I try to, and establish a new favorite coffee shop, go to my favorite ones, and, you know, get in the vibe. Spend time outside. I know it can be rainy and gloomy, but on the flip side, it's also great weather. It's like 60 to 70 degrees. I try to sit outside and get work done. I have a hammock and I love it so much. I sit out there and read. I can sit on my laptop. I love to, when I was in college, I would purposely sit outside of the library during that time, and I really do miss it. I miss just like sitting outside and outside of a library, because like we don't really have a great spot to do that here outside of on campus, and like I graduated, so not the vibe. But having a spot like that, like maybe going and sitting outside at a coffee shop and getting work done, like it's just such a good vibe, and I feel like it makes me personally feel a lot better about like my life, and like I feel great being in nature. So it's something I definitely try to do as much as possible. Live in the present. It's so easy to get caught up in all the things you have to get done, all of the events, everything going on. So living in the present is something that's super, super important to remind myself, and is like a fall non-negotiable, because every year that we get to spend in fall, or in any season, any day that we get to wake up, it's like just amazing, and you should be so grateful. So I'm learning to live in the present more and appreciate every single fall that I get to be here to experience, or every single day that I get to be here to experience. But since I love fall so much, I try to really remind myself, like, I know there's a lot going on, I know it's really busy, but live in the present and learn to enjoy it instead of just stressing about the next big thing. Watch spooky movies or shows. I used to be a horror movie girl, not so much anymore. I don't know what happened. I just was kind of like, I'm scared of everything one day and can't do it anymore. But Monstober, the real ones know exactly what I'm talking about. That's my vibe. Like Twitches, Halloween Town, mostly Ghostly. Mostly Ghostly is my favorite, I think. Hocus Pocus, all of those. I've been watching The Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Is that what it's called? It's the one on Netflix, the new one. I've been watching that because I only got like halfway through the first season the first time I tried to watch it. So I'm watching it again and trying to get all through it. That's getting me in the vibes. We rewatched Wednesday, which is a great watch. The new season isn't coming until next year, which is really upsetting, but whatever. We've also been watching Wizards of Waverly Place, just like in the background. And apparently a new like spin-off of it with Selena and I don't remember his name, but Justin and Harper. So Alex, Justin, and Harper, all of that, that's going to be coming October 29th of this year. So there's so many things to watch this season. This season and Christmas, again, had the best shows, best movies, in my opinion. So I'm really excited about that. And I've been watching all of the spooky movies and shows that are like wholesome. Not scary spooky, wholesome spooky. Wine nights, for some reason I feel like wine nights hit different in the fall, so just having wine night with your friends, whether we go to like a wine bar or a winery, or we have wine night at our house and watch like scary movies, like there's different ways to do wine nights, but I feel like just a nice red wine hits different in the fall. So wine nights are great. Bonfires. I love a good bonfire. I'm such a bonfire girl. I'll bring the s'mores, you get the bonfire. Like, that is my vibe. So another non-negotiable, as much as possible. Literally as much as possible. I would do a bonfire as often as possible. I would do it every night. I love bonfires. So maybe a wine night by a bonfire. We have this place downtown. Well, it's not downtown, but it's in the city more, where they have like a wine bar, but next to it is a fire that you can sit next to, so you can go buy the wine, and like it's also in the middle of like an outlet mall, like a shopping outlet mall. So it's such a vibe. It is a little bit pricier. It's not like somewhere where you can go all the time. And I'm honestly not a huge wine person, but when it comes to wine nights and bonfires, you best believe I'm there. Go out for at least one football game. I'm specifically talking college football. We have been a lot more invested in the NFL than we have been in the past, which is kind of crazy. It's probably because we have been betting. Bet responsibly, but you know, DraftKings. So I'm more invested also because of Taylor. Like, we live really close to Cincinnati, so naturally everyone is a Bengals fan and we support the Bengals. But obviously the Chiefs, I have to like support them because Travis Kelce, sir. So I am excited for like Sundays because we're betting and watching and we're more invested, but also specifically when I want to go out, I mean like going out on a Saturday for a college football game, because I still live in Lexington. That's where the University of Kentucky is. If you know anything about the SEC, we love our football. And so going maybe to a bar, whether it's a sports bar or an actual bar, we just go to Catterday, we go tailgating. Like, I just want to go to one a season. I'm not like I used to where I literally lived on campus and just like boot and rallied. Like, not me anymore, but there still are places that I love. Like, there's certain bars that I love to go to and you can sit down and eat and watch the game and you're surrounded by the atmosphere, but you're also not like getting crazy unless you want to. So I really enjoy doing that, and I want to do that for at least one football game every season. I also want to go to at least one football game, but I feel like that's a stretch in this economy, so I'll settle to just like go to the bar for one football game a season. That's fine. Another thing that I like to do that is a little bit more serious, a little bit less fun and silly, is begin thinking about spring and 2025 goals. So I ask myself, where do I want to be in 6 months? Where do I want to be in a year? Start a vision board. Like, I'm not going to start my vision board until December. That is what I do between Christmas and New Year's every year, is I make my vision board, I start my vision board, but I start just thinking about what my goals are for the next year. What kind of job do I want to do? Do I want to stay in this job? Do I want to do a different job? Where do I want to be financially? Where do I want to be friend-wise? Where do I want to be relationship-wise? Family, you know, how much do I want to grow with XYZ goal? Do I want like a specific car, a specific house? Like, all those things are things that I start thinking about now, so that when December rolls around, I'm like super ready to go and like chomping at the bit to get ready for that vision board, and I know exactly what I want to put on it. This one is kind of like up and down. Like, it's not necessarily a non-negotiable. It's something I would like to do, but I don't necessarily get to do it, is travel to at least one like fall place, like a cabin or something. I really want to go to Salem. I don't think it's going to happen this year, even though I really wanted it to, but I will be going at some point. We usually go to Gatlinburg, but I don't know. That's probably not going to be happening either. Shout out to the economy, guys. But traveling to at least like one fall place is just such a fun thing for me, since I love fall so much, and like surrounding myself with like the woods and the cabins and the vibes, like I love it so much. So being able to go to like at least one place, even if it's just for like 2 days, is so fun and something I really try to do. Next is kind of the opposite, and that's being okay with staying in and getting cozy. I am a bit of a hermit. It takes a lot to get me out. I really wish I was more social, but it's kind of hard when like you graduate and everyone moves away, and then you have to like rebuild friendships, and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. There's kind of a lot going on where I'm like not in a going out phase right now, but in the fall I feel like it's time to kind of get a little bit more cozy, stay in a little bit more, and balance that with going out, because when I go out in the fall, like, I'm doing things. I'm not just like going to the mall with friends. Like, I'm like going to bonfires, going pumpkin patch picking or whatever it's called, going to orchards, going to games, going to the bars, going out for Halloween. Like, I'm going and doing things. It's like balls to the wall type situation. So when I'm home, I'm like staying in, being cozy, not getting anything too crazy going. And I kind of have to like tell myself it's okay and not feel guilty for sitting at home. So being okay with getting cozy. Baking and cooking. I love baking. It's a little bit hard at the house I'm in now, but I do love to bake. And I like to cook, and I feel like cooking is so much better for you than eating out, obviously, and we have a problem with eating out, but something about baking in the fall and cooking in the fall just hits diff. Like, you make a homemade soup, you make a pumpkin bread, you can make so many fall things, like autumn squash soup, please. That is my favorite thing in the world. I love autumn squash soup. So doing that, you know, baking, like all of that, it's non-negotiables. I love doing it in the fall. It's super important to me. It's like a mental health thing for me. I really enjoy it. So, yeah, baking and cooking is just a good vibe during this time of year. I love fall fashion. Fashion this time of year is my favorite. So getting more creative or daring with my makeup, my hair, and my fashion. Maybe that's chopping my hair off. I'm trying to decide if I want to let it grow out or chop it off or dye it. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm going back and forth. Let me know your thoughts. I can't decide. But yeah, doing, whether it's like doing a new hair routine, I usually switch out my hair in the fall one way or another. Doing makeup, whether that's a red lip, a smoky eye, sparkles, doing something a little bit more daring because I feel like you just can in the fall. I don't know why. Or fashion, like wearing something I haven't worn before, going out on a limb and wearing things a little bit more like daring for Kentucky. Like Kentucky has a very like set in stone trend of like fashion, and then if you go a little bit too far out of it, you kind of get like stares and looks. So being daring and creative with that is kind of scary, but it's fun to do in the fall. I feel like you can get away with a lot more in the fall. Rainy walks, just taking Evie's my dog, taking Evie for a walk in the rain with the leaves falling, and she has a little rain jacket that I put on her, and it's just so cute and a non-negotiable for me. It helps me get my head in the right place. And then also going for rainy rides. As you guys know, I have a horse. I love her. She's like my favorite thing ever. I go out to ride her every Sunday. So going out to ride in the rain, she actually performs better in the rain, which is kind of funny. And then I also feel very calm in the rain. So going for a rainy ride is like great. Obviously, don't do any of this if it's lightning. But if it's just like raining, such a vibe, so good with the leaves. It's just like, I love it. It's so important to me in my mental health. Knock out the TBR. I know we all have a long list of books that we need to read, for the most part. If you're a reader, you know what I'm talking about. And I feel like there's no better time to read than in the fall and in the winter. So we're getting into that season. It's reading season, boys. Like, let's go. I am trying to crack through my TBR. I'm not going very well. I really wanted to read all of H.G. Carlton's books in October, but I have to finish Throne of Glass first, and I'm currently on Queen of Shadows. But I'm cracking at that TBR, trying to get it done because I have things to read and I want to do it during spooky season. So I feel like I have permission to crack at my TBR in the fall and winter because like you're inside more and you just have like that extra time, I guess, from being indoors to do that. You're not rushing around as much. You're a little bit more of a hermit. Like, get at that TBR. Make new coffee or tea recipes at home. This is a little bit of the opposite of like going out and trying new coffee shops, but I like to do both. When it's cold out, I feel like there's nothing better than just walking into like a clean kitchen and just like making a coffee, like trying a new syrup or trying a new, you know, drink or making a new tea that you found. I love those all natural teas. Like that's literally just like a mason jar full of like all kinds of herbs. We have a couple witchy stores in Lexington where they have them, and they have like a detox one, a beauty one, whatever. And like, while I don't know how much they work, I thoroughly enjoy them. They have one that is specifically for like women's cramps and like that time of the month, which I've heard raspberry tea is great for that. But this one tea, I swear to you, it is so good and it makes me feel so much better. So just trying a new coffee or tea on like a fall crisp morning and drinking your mug and like looking out the window, like just romanticizing that moment. I love it. I love it so much. And it's less expensive than going out and buying one. So find new ways to get cozy in my environment. So you're gonna be in your house for the next, what, 6 months? September to like March? Maybe like 5 months, 4 months? I don't know. For us, it's like 4. It's like November, December, January, February. So those 4 months are just brutal and no one wants to leave the house. So you better enjoy the environment that you've created, you've curated, if you will. So whether it's finding a new scent, I've been trying to find candles that are better for you because I have all kinds of animals. I have bunnies and dogs in my house, and I have 4 of them, so 2 bunnies and 2 dogs. And I know that like certain candles are not great for pets. Like I've heard Bath and Body Works allegedly is horrible, which is crazy because I've been living off of Bath and Body Works candles since I was like 12. Like, I kid you not. It used to be such a exciting time for me to go to Bath and Body Works as soon as the fall line dropped and get a fall candle. Like, I love them so much, but I found out they're not great for you and that really hurts my feelings. So I've been trying to find new ways to scent up my house and make it smell cozy. I love simmer pots, but I don't have like a way to do a simmer pot upstairs, so I'm trying to figure that out still. But all that to say, experimenting with new ways to make my environment cozier and a better, happier place for me to stay for the next 4 months. So Simmer pots are a great way. New lighting, I added a sunset lamp in my room, as well as hung some like fun little star lights from my room and got some other alternate lighting so that I didn't have to use the big light. You know, things like that. Getting even just like a new blanket is going to be a great way to feel cozier and love your environment and get excited, kind of indoctrinate this new season and get ready for it. The last thing on my list is to prioritize friends. You should prioritize your friends all year, like you should. But I feel like something about the fall makes me just want to hang out with my friends. Like, I do try to prioritize them year round, but I feel like I have less on my to-do list, so it's easier to do more in the fall. Like, it's just like, whether we're going to a game or we're going to like a haunted house or we're just going to the bars for Halloween, like, I feel like it's a lot easier to prioritize like friends because there's so much more to do. And again, like, I'm kind of settling down on work. I'm still working, but it's not as much of a priority for me as hanging out with friends. So I try to prioritize friends and do a lot more in this season just because there's more to do and I really enjoy it, and I kind of put everything else aside for it. So yeah, that is my list of fall non-negotiables. Let me know which ones you will be including in your fall to-do list, as well as which ones you will be adding that I maybe didn't mention. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast episode. I upload every single Sunday. I'm hoping to start doing Wednesdays again soon because it used to be Wednesday and Sundays, but with work, it just wasn't working out. So I'm hoping to try and do some bonus episodes soon. I just kind of need to get my life together and then I'll be doing that. But that's the plan. Share this podcast with someone you think would enjoy listening to it. It means the world to me. Like I said, we're trying to hit 1K on YouTube. We also have goals on like Spotify and Apple, but you can't really see that to keep up with it. So that's why I'm mainly honing in on YouTube. I didn't forget about you guys, as well as all the other places where you can listen to this podcast. But I really appreciate every single second that you guys have dedicated to listening to this, whether it's your first time, whether you're here every week. I love you so much, and you guys light my day up. Like, I love you. I read every single comment. I respond to every single comment. My heart gets so excited every time I see that someone mentioned like something. It makes me so happy. So I really appreciate you guys. And what else was I gonna say? Oh, if you made it this far, go ahead and comment a fall leaf emoji if you can. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you guys are enjoying fall so far. I am going to go watch some NFL, so I'm going to get this uploaded before that, but I will talk to you guys later, and yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, bye guys. Love you.